Hello, everyone. Welcome again to K Podcast. So today we are gonna be talking about this particular. I'm gonna say it's a little bit serious. It is serious topic because it affects us all. So there was this discussion that I saw on TikTok between a baby boomer, millennial, and Gen Z. And I understand Gen X was not added to this. Sorry for those Gen X out there. And I understand it kind of feels like you're being left out. But this was we were talking about financial issues. This video is about financial issues who had it easier. And as usual, I always bring videos for us to talk about, and I normally would give my commentary on it. So the first video that I'm going to bring here is going to be about how much these three people from different generation think how much you should be able to save before you get to your 30s. So I'm going to bring up this video over here first, and I want to say this. For three of them, I listened to them and I think it's a little bit realistic, but I feel like Gen Z is about to get a wake-up call because the way she said 60,000, I'm like, girl, okay, you is about to find out. So let me bring up this video over here.
Person should have saved by the time.
Let me play this from the start.
A boomer, a millennial, and a Gen Z were asked how much they think a person should have saved by the time they're 30 years old. Note that Gen X was forgotten. Again. It's fine. We're fine. Their answers were posted to the 401 OK TikTok account. The boomer? She said ideally you should have $100,000 in the bank. This is pretty standard and straightforward. Boomers experienced economic growth and stability and emphasized having a hefty nest egg. In contrast, the millennials' answer reflected her generation's financial struggles. She answered $5,000 as a nice, it feels 30 amount of saved money. Millennials have been mired down in financial instability since the economic recession of 2008, which affects the mindset on how much wealth one can accumulate and save. But the Gen Z woman had a very optimistic perspective. She said probably like $60,000 to $250,000, or she was told 20% of a house payment. But to each
Okay, I'm going to say this. The Gen Z is about to get a wake-up call. First of all, many of us millennials, when we turned 18, we left the home. Gen Zs, some of them are still living with the parents until they're going to live there for a long time. I'm not going to say that we're not millennials that actually live with their parents and still live with their parents today because they can't afford housing, because that is absolutely reality. That is true. You get me? And I'm like, Gen Z is still dreaming. Some of them are dreaming. Like down payment. Have you seen how much houses cost nowadays? In fact, let's talk about apartments, rentals. That one, the fact that she said 60 is it half of a house payment? I'm like, well, the funny part of this whole thing is I have also other videos over here of Gen Zs, literally queen. Literally, they just go for a lunch break and they never come back. You get me? Yeah, girl, hi, son and sunflower. Yeah, the fact that she said 60,000, I'm gonna bring that video up, by the way. The fact that she said 60,000, I'm like, girl, you don't have 60,000. Trust me, they sold us millennials a whole dream. They gave us the dream of work hard, study hard. We did all that stuff. And here we are the one of the in the whole generation, we are the ones that got the least. We didn't get nothing, and we had hope because they've been preaching to us like, yeah, work hard, go to school, all of that. We did all of that, and we can't even, many of us can't even afford to buy a house. An apartment, a flat, let's not even play. The fact that she said 60,000, I can laugh and giggle. I'm like, she about to get a wake-up call. You're about to find out, because I've been seeing people out here. Gen Zs say, normally, before you would give a quit notice, you would give your company like, and that thing about quitting, silently quitting and quit notice, I'm going to say this, companies have the audacity. Because when you want to quit, they will tell you to give them like around 3 weeks notice or 2 weeks notice or something. But when they want to fire you, some of them don't even give you a 2 weeks notice before they fire you. That is why when I see people quitting, And they did not tell, they like, I'm not coming to work tomorrow, I quit. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what they would do to you if they wanted to fire you. So hey, if you want your employers, people that work for you to respect you, you have to give them the same respect. So girl, I mean, the Gen Z girl had me laughing and giggling. I'm like, 60K? Where you get 60K from? Okay, I know you're living with your parents and you think you can, before you get to the age of 30, okay, you dreaming, girl, but you're about to find out. Now, let's continue this.
Each of these women's views really correspond with how each generation handles saving money. According to Finder's Consumer Confidence Index, Gen Zers set aside a whopping $857 a month, with millennials managing to save only an average of $294 a month.
Okay, let me just ask, why is that? A lot of Gen Zs get, money from their parents. They still, some of them don't even work. Even in China, did you hear? I'm going to say this. I don't know if you guys have heard this new trend that is going on in China, parents employing their own kids because of, the economical institution and what is going on in the economy. Because many of the kids, after university, after everything, they couldn't find a job. They just wandering around, to the extent that parents in China, some parents in China are now employing their children to be children, which means you don't have to do anything but stay home. I said to myself, oh, I would have loved that. But hey, that wasn't handed up to us. But hey, imagine a whole country, they literally have this trend that they employing their kids just to be kids. Now, you should understand that those parents looked at the society and be like, these kids are not about to survive out here. And let's not even go with the millennials able to save around $1, because millennials have been out there working. What are you supposed to save? Like, tell me, if you earning, let's say 1,200, or let's say you earning maybe 2,000 or 3,000 bucks a month. Your house rent, let's say your house rent is 1,500. That house rent alone, then let's not forget about tax, depending on the country that you're working at. The country is going to take their tax. Some of them 25, like in Germany over here, like, ooh, girl, like, I'll be looking at them like, am I working for you or am I working for me? Because after they don't remove tax, and then you have to pay insurance, you have to pay for your leasing, the rent where you are living, the apartment that you paying for. Like, I'm gonna even bring another video that actually talked about that particular topic over there, because when I checked everything, I'm like, this is why a lot of people are just quitting. Because why would I want to work? Like, these companies would be earning billions of dollars, billions. I heard last time that the OnlyFans, creator, the CEO, the one that owns it, is paying himself around, is it 300 and something million per month? Himself, not his employers, by the way. Not the people he employs. And I'm like, when you earning all this money and taking all this money and literally clutching it, not spreading the money, like, I'm going to say this. Me, myself, I would just walk out if I'm not feeling happy with that situation. I would just be like, no, because let's not forget, the reason why you get a job is you want to make enough money to be able to buy a home. A lot of millennials don't have homes. A lot of us don't have homes. We couldn't afford homes. So what am I working for? I could as well just grow a vegetable garden and get myself a farm if I want to eat, or anything like that. Just get myself a farm and be a farmer instead of breaking my back for you. I'm not breaking my back for you. No.
2022 study from the Transamerica Center for Retirement Studies shows that boomers save on average $673 per month. So yeah, these numbers actually seem pretty legit. How do you handle saving money?
Okay, let me bring this other video of them, actually, the actual video of this whole discussion over here.
At least $100,000 in the bank.
I think it would be nice to have maybe like $5,000 saved.
Definitely 100 grand.
Probably like 60,000 to like 250,000.
It's really not a fair question, because where do you live?
By age 30, you're halfway towards retirement. You've got to have a nice nest egg at that point.
And that is the top, that's the thing that nobody's talking about. At the age of 30, you're already halfway to your retirement. A lot of us don't have houses. House rent is high over here. Some of these millennials have been working for a long time, and they can't even afford to buy their own property. So nowadays, I'm just looking at my own generation and being like, what are we doing? What are we doing? No, we should have, millennials should have a discussion. We should have a meeting with each other. What are we doing? We're going out there walking and breaking your backs and doing all of that, and you can't even afford a house. You can't afford to buy a car without a loan. You can't afford to do nothing. And we're still out there being the hardest workers. See, girl, See, let me tell you something. If I had a job, if my hobby wasn't having its own thing, if I was a working class person, girl, I would have quit so many times. I would have had so many jobs. I would have like quit today, quit tomorrow. I probably have my resume written there. If you don't treat me right, and if I feel like I cannot buy a property while working for you, yeah, I'm a quit too. I'm a quit. That's why I go directly into having my own business. Because with my own business, I can make my own money. I'm the boss of my own self. You get me? But working for somebody else, I cannot see myself doing that. I think that is the one thing that when I look at the whole structure of this economical, financial thing, I'm like, I cannot work for anybody but myself. Because you'll be breaking your back for a CEO, somebody that created all these billionaires, be having all these companies out here, having all these businesses out here, but not paying their workers enough to even buy anything. So let's continue.
I always heard growing up that it should be about like 20% of a payment for a house.
That feels responsible. It feels 30. It feels 30.
Okay, let's go into this breakdown that this guy brought over here, because he brought a very good breakdown. So let me bring this video over here of him actually showing them what is happening.
This is going to absolutely blow your mind.
So look at the difference, by the way. Look at the difference from 1930 to 2023. See how it goes.
We are in a silent depression. When you compare the Great Depression to today, this is going to absolutely blow your mind. In 1930, during the Great Depression, the average home in America was $3,900. The average car was $600, and the average monthly rent was $18 or $216 a year, and the average salary was $1,300 for the year. Fast forward to today, it is $436,000 for the average home, $48,000 for the average car, and the average rent is $2,000 a month or $24,000 a year, and we have a $56,000 income for the average American right now. So if you look back to the Great Depression, the house was only 3 times the average salary. Now it is 8 times the average salary. The car was 46% of the salary. The car today is 85% of the salary.
Ooh. That's why when some people be out here talking, especially I've been hearing boomers. I have nothing against boomers, but when they're saying these young people don't want to work, I'm like, what are you talking about? I mean, I get it. Gen Z's be quitting out here, but millennials, we still holding it down. And when I hear these young people don't want to work, I'm like, ma'am, no offense, but this is not respectfully either way. But I'm just gonna tell you what I think. You had it easy. You had it easy. Leave the rest of us out of this because we're struggling out here. Some of us can't even afford a car. We have to literally, like 48,000 for a car. Just imagine that. Imagine you earning around, let's say 30K a year. How are you supposed to afford a car? You have to work like at least 2 or 3 years to pay, 4 years to make a down payment, to finish paying that car. Paying for that car. Some people will make contracts of 8 years just to pay off the car. And I'm like, man, no, we are not about to play this game. You had it easier. The baby boomers had it easy. Financially, they had it easy.
Salary. And here's the craziest part. The rent was 16% of the average salary. It is now 42% of the average salary.
Ooh, yeah. Let that sink in. Just let that sink in. Let me see where the oh Lord, let this sink in. Like we are not even working to be normally you get a job to build your life, you get a job to be able to afford a house, buy your own house, and live a good life. And this is exactly why a lot of people don't want to have kids because where's the money? How you can't even take care of yourself. You can't take care of yourself. Talk less about having another person to take care of. It is horrible. It is absolutely horrible. And this is the thing. A lot of people are not talking about this, but we are living through a Great Depression right now. But they don't want you to know. We are living through it. They don't want you to know because they don't want uprising and people literally making noise out here. Like I saw a video of a landlord last time talking about he kicks out even single mothers from his house because he kicks out anybody that lives in his house that doesn't pay rent. And I'm like, this is why a lot of people don't like landlords. And let's not forget, these people will just increase the price of anything, price of their own building. They make their own prices. It makes it very difficult. And nowadays, the rich are buying more and more lands. Let's not forget, all these billionaires out here are buying more and more lands so that they can build property to make it hard for you to even be able to buy your own. Because imagine if you're paying around 2K a month and you're earning maybe 3,000 or 4,000 a month. 4,000, where? Let's talk about 3K a month. Your rental price alone, the rental loan has already taken everything. Then tax is gonna come, and yes, the government is gonna take their tax if you like it or not. What are you supposed to live on? What are you working for? At this point, I'm starting to think we millennials have to come together and have a great meeting and talk about what we are working for, because you are only working for, what are you working for? You can't even buy nothing. You can't buy a property. What are you working for? You're working for somebody else, and the only thing you're getting is being able to eat and pay house rent and not even be able to have your own house. And when you want to go and buy a house, they literally make the interest so high, you literally break down and be like, oh my God, when am I going to finish paying for that? This is a serious topic. This is a very serious topic. This guy actually had another video over here that he was trying to explain to the boomers because they came for him in the commentary section. And you know, boomers, they will come for you if you say to them they had it easy. They went for him in the commentary section. For me, I don't care. I'm still gonna say you had it easy. Like, imagine we can't even afford nothing. To buy a car alone will take you 8 years to finish payment. No, that is unfair. And I'm not saying it's your fault either, but hey, you guys climbed the ladder and pulled the ladder up and left all of us here just sitting down here looking at you all. So let me bring up this video.
Happening, we are not blaming you. We are simply pointing out with facts, black and white, that in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, you had the best middle class and economic growth in American history. Your 50 hours, yes, you had to walk up a hill. Yes, you had to take a bike. Yes, you didn't have air conditioning and central air. We have way more conveniences today, 100%. But when you put in 50 hours, what you had waiting at home was so much more than when we put in 50 hours. That's all we're saying. We are just trying to bring awareness to the problem, because people say, especially the boomers, well, go vote. What are we voting for? What's on the ballot? Cheaper housing? Where's that checkbox? We have to complain or bring awareness, how we like to market that, so that we can actually get politicians and policymakers to actually put things on the ballot over the next year so we can vote. And what can we do in the meantime? Of course, we have to save, sacrifice, and try to build new skills and learn to invest in all of that. 100%. The point we're making is that you had it great. You worked 50 hours, we're working 50 hours, but you got more bang for your buck.
Okay, I'm just going to say this. I think we need to have a great time of people quitting. of millennials quitting. I feel like we should strike. No, just quit. Because if you say we're going for strike, they'll be like, oh my God, these people are striking. Just quit. Don't go to work. They call you, you tell them I quit. And if they ask you, why did you quit? You'll be like, I can't even afford to buy a house. I think there need to be a great quitting era. Like people just walking out of the industry. Just walking out. Walk out, get yourself a garden first. First of all, I would advise get a garden, get some livestock before you quit. If your parents own a home, move into your parents' home. Although I know they're not gonna like you being there. Because this is quitting. Hey, pick up your stuff, take your money, buy some livestock, and get yourself some seed and stuff like that and start planting your own food. And I feel like everybody should start doing this. And after that, we just come together and say we quit. Because when they don't have people in the factories anymore, when they don't have people working for them anymore, what are they going to do? This is why we have many billionaires and trillionaires now. We have, imagine being a trillionaire. It's not a billionaire, you have trillions. How did you get there? That means you've been using people's hard work and not paying well. You're not paying these people. Your workers are not getting this money. They're not getting raised. And that's why you're becoming a trillionaire out here. People being billionaires and trillionaires, and you see their workers talking about they're getting paid very low. They're not getting paid enough. And people still sit. No, I think there should be a great era of everyone, especially millennials, because we've worked our bum off and gotten nothing. Just quit. I feel like we should come together, have a podcast, or have something that where we can all organize this massive quitting. Everyone should quit. Just drop it. Let them call you on the phone. If you quit. And I know there are some companies right now that I'm going to tell you something. There are some companies out here that are looking for, like, especially when it comes to the financial sector or, web designing or IT sector, that what they are doing now is they're looking for workers that are working in India or some other countries where they can pay a little bit less. But let me tell you something. When I heard about when Indians retire. Do you know that these people retire at the age of 50 and they get paid and they go enjoy their life? Yes, they work hard. But when I had the age of retirement for Indians in India, I'm like, hold on a second. They're out here trying to make us work until we break our back till 70 something years old. They're trying to push the age of, for you to retire to 70. To 73, which means you don't have a lot to live for. What are you gonna do when you turn 73 and that is when you retire? Tell me, what are you gonna do? Looking after your knee and your back pain? Where are you gonna go? What are you gonna enjoy? What is that? In fact, you're not even gonna have enough money. So you worked all your life, all of it, for somebody else. That's why when you see some of these billionaires coming out crying about, oh, we don't have the rate of people having kids have actually lowered. I'm like, yeah, I'm not really feeling sorry for you. You want us to keep having kids so that you can keep exploiting them. Now let me continue. I think I finished this video over here. So let me bring out this video over here of this Gen Z talking about she quit a job. She found out, she went to work in a professional setting and she said, not me, not today. I quit. Let me bring it up.
For the rest of their life.
Hold on. Let me take it back.
Gen Zer in their first internship can't fathom working for the rest of their life.
The original creator turned his stitches off for some reason, even though he asked a question, but I think we need to talk about this because I am a Gen Zer who got her first corporate in-office adult 9-to-5 job this year. And I was actually really excited about it because it was a marketing position in a healthcare company, so I thought it was going to be really great. And I get that the company itself ended up being horribly toxic, but I also made the decision within only 4 months of working there that if I had to do this corporate drone thing for the rest of my life, because I did the math, you couldn't retire in this economy, I just would rather clock out eternally.
Who Woohoo! Did you hear that? She said she couldn't do it for eternity because let's not forget about the age of retirement. They trying to, put it higher. Like, what am I? Look at it. What are you living for? You're living for to make other people more rich and make them more money. Meanwhile, you can't afford basic needs. Yeah, like I said before, I'd rather have a farm. I'd rather get me some goats, some cows, and some chickens, and a land where I can plant my food, because ain't no way I'm walking till the day I leave this planet, till the day that I get called, just for you to, money grab and enjoy yourself and have all this money so you and your family can be. It's not even being okay, it is just greed at this point. Can we call it what it is? What are you going to use all this money that you have for? You have trillions. People talking about they want to put a tin can in space now. They had a tin can going to Titanic. That one exploded. Now they're planning on having another tin can in space. Did you guys hear about that? There are like 2 or 3 companies now that are talking about they want to create another tin can where they're going to fly up into space and have a vacation. They don't know what to use the money for anymore. You can say, oh, they're trying to build this big spacecraft where people can go on vacation in space. We're going to call it what it is. It's a tin can. They're trying to stuff people over there because they don't know what to do anymore with the money. So instead of literally increasing the minimum wage and literally making sure that the people that are making them damn money get paid normal and get paid well so that they can be able to afford housing and essential needs, they rather blow it on a tin can and go to space. Let's continue.
There were people in their 40s at the company making the same amount of money as me, like still in the same struggling to get by position. And I was like, is this is it? This is life? Because I would rather just like tap out right now. And I tried to keep pushing through with blind optimism, but it was like so soul crushing that 9 months in, I just had to wake up and be like, hey, is this the life you want to keep living? And the answer was like, no, I don't want to do this. So I had to leave for my own health reasons, ironically. And I've sadly been happier doing odd jobs here and there, struggling to pay bills and just living life and having fun. And everyone keeps asking, like, what's your plan? What are you going to do? I don't know what the plan is, but I know if I have to go back to that corporate in-office 9 to 5, like, I won't be alive a year from that date. So say whatever you want about Gen Z, but we're just finally putting our foot down about this corporate lifestyle, where you waste most of your life sitting in an office doing little to nothing. I would rather just get my work done on my time and then get to go live my life. Gen Z, to their core, takes the motto, work to live, do not live to work, very seriously. And if corporations don't start understanding that, like, it's just gonna keep getting worse for everybody.
The thing is, corporations are just looking for people to make them more money. It's greed. It is greed, like I said before. It's absolute greed. There are greedy people out here that the more wealth they acquire, the more wealthy they get, they just don't care. All they care about is making money for themselves. They don't care about the people working under them. They don't care about if you are able to afford basic needs or not. At this point, I'm starting to feel like capitalism has gone out of hand. It has gone out of hand. At this point, why are we doing all this work and not being able to even buy a house or do nothing? I said there should be a great era of quitting. Like, yeah, everybody quit. But like I said before, get a farm, get a goat, get a cow, and grow your own vegetables and all of that. That is one thing about capitalism. They want you not to be able to farm. I noticed this, that you can't have a farm and grow your own food and your own crops so that you can go out there and try to, buy food from them and your essential needs. At this point, I'm like, you know what? Get a farm, get a goat, get chickens around. Yes, and grow your own vegetable. Because at the end of the day, if you can grow your own food, who is able to take that away from you? You can grow whatever you're eating. You're hungry, you go to your farm, you pick out a chicken, a goat, or whatever you got over there, and some vegetable off your garden, and you cook it and you sit down, you mind your business. So let me bring up this other video over here.
Does she know I'm never
So this is another Gen Z girl that is quitting her job, by the way. Like, I love the way they quit. They don't even tell you they're quitting. They just leave. I mean, that's what the bosses do when they want to fire you. They don't tell you that you're going to be fired after 2 weeks. They just fire you, right? Well, I love the way that Gen Zs behave, by the way. I really love it.
My manager thinks I just clocked out for my break, but little does she know I'm never coming back
Go
ever.
ahead, like, share, and follow this video because there's so many videos like this online. People are waking up to the idea that the juice is just not worth the squeeze. There's so many people out there just making them just enough money to continue to be broke. There's tons of big corporations like that are in a mall, so they're giant corporations that are paying their staff just enough to barely get by. Between that and the added stress of adulthood, a lot of these companies are going to end up closing down because nobody wants to work there anymore. I hear people say it all the time, certain jobs aren't meant to be careers. Okay, well then you're just not going to end up shopping there anymore because nobody's going to work there. Do I think you take a job like that making $100,000 a year? Absolutely not. No. You know when you take a job like that you're not going to make crazy money, but you should still have some sort of fruit for your labor. Don't get me started on customer service. You want better customer service? Try being a better customer. So many employees are fed up, and so many companies are going to end up going out of business because they don't want to do business. You're making record profits and not paying your employees enough to care. And that is what's happening. People are leaving during the middle of the shift because they're only going to put up with so much. Let me know in the comments, have you ever quit a job mid-shift? I know I have.
Yeah, I love the way that he said that last part. He said that he had. I'm like, yeah. I mean, at this point, you just slaving away for them. You literally walking your back off for them. You are only alive to work for their own profit. Can we say it? Yeah, that is what I'm seeing out here. Even when they are making a record amount of profit, by the way, even when they make double of the profit, triple of the profit, 10 times more profit, they do not look at the workers and be like, you know what, we made this much money. I think you guys should be able to earn this much so that you can actually be able to afford your basic needs and still be happy to come back to this company and continue working. No, that's not how they see it. They look at you and they'll be like, well, nah, as long as I'm getting my money, I'm good. I'm just going to go to the next billionaire or trillionaire and try to show them how much I've gotten and try to rub shoulder over there, drink some expensive champagne and take some photos on the media and have people call me the trillionaire of the year. Yeah, they rather show off than think about the basic needs of their workers. So we're going to go into this last one. This is the last video for the day. So let me bring it up.
My first
salary was around $48,000 per year.
My first job that I got myself was probably like $12 to $13 an hour in New Jersey.
Right, $925 1 month. To convert what I gave, $925, that's $11,100 a year compared to your 48, and it's about $5 an hour compared to your, what was it, 11 to 13.
Yeah.
$1 in 1970, I graduated in 73, is now worth $7.84. So if you translate that, my $11,100 is about $85,000 a year.
I find it interesting that you could just convert that. Like for me, in my brain, it's like, okay, when I was 6 years old, $1 was 2 bags of chip, a honey bun, and a juice. And so I'm like, wow, 4 things for $1. And now like all of that I just mentioned is like $5 now. But that's the way I convert it in my brain. So that's so funny.
So I'm going to say this. Thank you all for being here. Let me know what you think about this whole, are we going through a depression? Because I think we are going through a depression and the media is not saying it. A lot of people are not talking about it. A lot of people don't want you to know because there are companies out here making like records, high record of profit. They're making so much profit. That's why we have trillionaires. That's why we are out here, not even only billionaires, but trillionaires, people that have trillions. These people cannot use that trillion for the whole of their life. They don't know what to do with those money. The only thing they know about is acquire more wealth and keep it away from the rest of us. Make sure that the money doesn't spread. That's why when I hear people trying to talk about let's cut tax for the rich, I'm like, why? They're already keeping all the money and literally making sure that it is not spreaded. Why are we cutting? Oh, because they give more jobs. I'm like, jobs where? People that are working for them are not earning anything. They can't even provide for themselves. I think everybody should pay tax. Nobody should, as long as every person that is earning minimum wage is paying tax, the rich should pay their own fare. They should pay tax. I don't care about, oh, I did this, so I'm going to write it off. No, you should pay tax like everybody else. Now, with that being said, I'm going to say this. Thank you all for being here. Do not forget to press that like button and subscribe and leave your comments about this particular video. And I will see you all on the next one. Have a great day and goodbye.